Hello, and thank you for joining us. I'm Sandy Potter, along with Masonicare President and CEO, JP Venoit, Dr. Ronald Schwartz, our Senior Director for Continuum Health Services, and we're very happy to have Sierra Drevline with us once again. She, of course, is the Director of Employee Health Services for Masonicare. Welcome back, Sierra.
Thank you.
Dr. Schwartz, I thought we'd begin with you. Of course, the Omicron variant has become the most dominant COVID-19 strain in the U.S. Cases are now unfortunately surging. Can you provide us with the latest update?
Well, I can, Sandy, and every week or every other week when we do these shows, there's always something new with COVID, and unfortunately this isn't the best news, but I have an article that sort of summarizes where we stand right now, and it's called "COVID is Again Raging Across the United States, Just as Americans Gather for the Holidays." So I'm going to once again summarize. It was a lengthy article, but I'll try to give you the main points. So it says a surge in coronavirus cases in the United States is seriously altering previously promising holiday plans for many Americans. As many people traveled over the weekend, health officials and state leaders issued serious warnings about the coronavirus as the United States experienced record new infections. So last Friday, the CDC reported 156,754 new COVID-19 cases, and in early November, the country was averaging about 70,000 cases. So they say the jump in cases in recent days is being blamed in part on the Omicron variant, and it's now, as we're saying, the dominant strain in the United States. And just so you get a little idea, I mean, we talked about this in previous shows and so forth, but the incubation period of the Omicron virus is 3 days, while the original COVID strain was like 5 to 7 days. So you get an idea of how quickly it can cause infectivity. So last weekend, sporting events, live theater announced postponements or outright cancellations because of infections among athletes and staff, as well as cast and crew members. Senators Cory Booker and Elizabeth Warren announced that they tested positive for the coronavirus, both experiencing mild symptoms, and they both said that they were fully vaccinated and received the booster shot. So given the jump in new infections, President Biden announced new steps to help communities in need of assistance, and he also issued a warning of what the winter would look like for Americans that choose to remain unvaccinated. So early data shows that while Omicron has the ability to easily evade immune protection and booster shots, those infected may be less likely to experience severe disease and hospitalization. And I think that's a really good take-home point, that there's still just a strong emphasis for getting vaccinated, booster shots. According to scientists, the scientists' most pessimistic projections, the United States could reach over 500,000 average daily infections by the end of January, more than double last winter's peak. And the now former director of the National Institute of Health, Dr. Francis Collins, who retired over the weekend, warned Americans to take the pandemic seriously. If they don't, the country could see 1 million daily infections. So we're almost to the final summary of this article. This is another quote from Dr. Collins, and he said, "We cannot afford to let our guard down. I know people are tired of this," he said, and this is acknowledging Americans' fatigue of nearly 2 years of this pandemic. And then he goes on to say, "I'm tired of it too, believe me, but the virus is not tired of us. It's having a great old time changing its shape every couple of months, coming up with new variants, and figuring out ways to be even more contagious." So I think, again, the take-home point from all of this is that there's still, the virus mutates, it's still, with vaccinations and boosters, it's still a milder form of an infection, certainly than without getting vaccinated and without getting boosters. So the quote that I found for this week and during the holiday time, it says, "The joy of brightening other lives becomes for us the magic of the holidays." And that was said by W.C. Jones, and he actually was elected Attorney General of the state of Washington upon its admission to the Union that served from 1889 to 1897. And I picked that quote because I think that's what we really all do. We all brighten the lives of our residents. We all try to work together to give them peace and to protect them. So I really do want to thank everybody for everything that you do, the diligence, vaccinations, and the good health practices, and and masking and so forth, and keeping everybody safe. And I wish you the happiest of holiday seasons. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and once again, health and peace. And thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Schwartz. That's the perfect quote for sure. We appreciate it. And Sierra, here at Masonicare, it was announced that all employee team members will be required to receive COVID booster shots by the end of January. How are the vaccine clinics going so far?
The vaccine clinics are going very well. So about 40% of our staff have received the booster thus far. And that was over a period of 23 booster clinics and 2 months. So upcoming in the next month and a half, we have 8 more clinics, including 2 family clinics, with the goal of making the availability of the vaccine as convenient as possible for everybody. And those will be announced shortly, and will be on Saturdays in order to get those folks and reduce the household exposures. So we're looking forward to it. Thank you.
That's great news, Sierra. Thank you so much for your continued hard work on all of those clinics. We appreciate it. And finally, JP, as we prepare to gather and celebrate Christmas, I know you really wanted to take a moment to express your gratitude and your holiday wishes to the entire Masonicare family.
Sandy, thank you so much. We were talking earlier before we had this video about how many videos we've been doing since started this. And, you know, we started our task force 659 days ago. We actually had our first case 633 days ago. I want to thank first the 3 of you for all that you have done to get the information out to our viewers and really out to our staff, because ultimately our staff have done, as I've said many times, an amazing job. And today's a day of reflection. Today's a day of us really looking back and being proud of what our staff, our residents, and our family members have been able to do during a very stressful time. And when I look back, we're seeing an uptick in the month of December. We were expecting this. As much as maybe people may thought we weren't, we were expecting it. It's still less than what it was the same time last year. As an add-on, yesterday was our 1-year anniversary of getting the getting the vaccine. And it was a day of hope. And I will tell you, today's a day of hope. Having the booster come into play, I think really has helped us, but we still need to be vigilant. Wearing your mask, being socially distant, all of those aspects, good hygiene, are all aspects that are going to help combat this virus. And I am very optimistic that over the coming months, we will see an improvement of really fighting this virus. Now, with that being said, the holiday times are always a very proud, very joyous time, but also very stressful. And I think the virus creates an added layer of stress to those stressors for our staff, for our family members, for our residents. But when we really take a step back, let's really rejoice in all that has been done. And though the gatherings may be a little smaller, maybe a little restrictive, let's give thanks to all of those that serve our residents and patients and family members. On behalf of really myself, I can't tell you how proud I am of everybody for all that they've done. It has been a challenging time, but the holidays give us a reflection of joy and happiness. So happy holidays to everyone, and thank you for everything that you do. It's allowed Masonicare to be strong.
Yes, as you always say, JP, we are Masonicare strong. Well, thank you so much for sharing your time and your insights with us today, as always. And we thank you for joining us for this final Masonicare News and COVID update of 2021. Until we see you next time, we wish you joyful holiday moments with family and friends. Stay safe, stay well, and we look forward to seeing you in the new year. Take care.
Happy New Year.